Hello and welcome to Azaz. That's Ask Zenatta Anything About Zoho, the show where we take your Zoho questions and spin them into Zenatta Gold. I'm your host, Greg Belknap, Director of Zoho Development here at Zenatta, and today I am joined by Landon, one of our senior consultants. Landon, how you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, Greg. How about yourself, sir?
I'm also doing well. We've got a great question on a relatively new feature today on Cadence Studio. So let's take a look at that question. This comes from Samuel, who asked in a comment on our YouTube video talking about the Cadence Studio. Super helpful walkthrough. Been waiting for Zoho to introduce this. This raises the question: does Cadences Studio give you an option to limit how many emails that are sent per day, sort of like a drip feature? You might have thousands of leads in a particular custom view, but you just want 80 of them to get sent per day. So,
Yeah,
yeah, you want to talk a little bit about this, Landon?
yeah. So unfortunately, Sam, this is not a feature of Cadence. Now, that's not to say we can't solve for that. It's actually not terribly hard, and I'll kind of walk you through in a minute. I don't necessarily expect it to become a feature either. If you think about it, this is kind of like almost a built-in, you know, method for drip campaigns or whatever directly in CRM and maybe instead of Zoho campaigns. But if you look at Zoho campaigns, they don't have this as a very well built out feature. You can do things like in a workflow, create a split or something like that, but it's not a very easily doable feature in there. So my expectation would be that it's probably not something that'll be added in here. Now, hopefully it is. That'd be fantastic. But in the meantime, I've got a decent workaround for you, I think. So if we head over here into our setup and we'll go to Cadences. I created this. I just called it, limit on number of emails sent per day. Very topical. And I just set up it. It's a completely basic, just, once they get into a specific list in leads, a specific custom view, then it sends an email a day later, after that's sent, and you can set these up. There's a ton of options in here and everybody can, when you look through it, a bunch of different things, right? But the point is getting some, a specific number sent per day. Like you said, if you have a list of thousands of leads, you only want 80 to go. So my thought on that is if we're on the leads module, now there's only one record in this entire example CRM. However, just imagine a list here of 5,000, whatever it may be. So if this is your list that you want to send out to, but you only want to send 80 of them per day, if you have the cadence set to go when they come into this view or existing ones, it's just going to go all at once. So what my thought is, if you create a second custom view and set your criteria for that to, let's say, check a custom checkbox or something like that, and then you can go into your setup, create yourself a schedule, and then using a custom function, let's say you want to, go daily, right? And you'll create that custom function. I'm just going to select and pretend that this is the function that we've written because I want to make sure that I don't take an entire segment here creating a custom function. But let's say you want every day at 10 p.m. or 10 a.m., right? And you're just going to do this. So now we've got a schedule that runs a custom function every day at 10 a.m. So what you're going to want to do for that custom function is simply iterate through that entire custom view that you want, the one with thousands, right? And just go through and say, here's the view, and then find the first 80, right? So you find the first 80 and then update those to have that checkbox checked, and that will put them into your second view. I don't know if there's a really, a more efficient way to do that, Greg, but that was kind of my thought. Essentially, you have your list of everybody you want it sent to. You use a custom function to
Mm-hmm.
grab the first however many of those and then update those so that they would pop into that second one. And then when you set up the cadence, you're actually not setting it up against your list with thousands. You're setting it up for when people enter that second list. And so then only 80 of those or however many enter per day, and then they go out.
Yeah, kind of using a second custom view as like a loading queue, as it were.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what you said here is the most efficient thing that I can think of given the circumstances. Be a pretty simple custom function, like you said. Just need to grab from that particular custom view, so you can just use the Zoho.crm.get records, and you can pass in that custom view's ID to only get the records from that custom view, and then you can even pass in a parameter to limit to whatever arbitrary number, 50, 80, 100, whatever. And then once you, like you said, get all those records, then you just need to grab all of those IDs, put them back into a list along with that true value for that checkbox, and then you can run a zoho.crm.bulk update to just take care of them all at once. So should be like less than 10 lines of code should be able to get this thing going for you.
And I think, Sam, just one thing to keep in mind, the two things that Greg just said that will keep it very efficient for you are when you go to find those in your custom function, use the custom view ID so you don't have to use a search records and put a bunch of criteria in there, and then also do the bulk update by creating a list of IDs rather than doing a for each update, go through update. So those are two things that will save a lot of time and money.
Yeah, save you on all those API credits. Well, I mean, it saves you money because you might already have a API heavy operation, so you won't have to buy any more API credits. And I'm curious, Landon, because I know Cadence Studio is a relatively new feature. As you were kind of looking around at some of the different options, I don't know, did anything stand out to you as like a tip, a trick, or a caveat for Cadence Studio that you think other people should know about?
Yeah, I think one of the things, honestly, and Freddie, if you want to just share my screen again here. So if we go, so I'm creating a cadence right now, just, named it test here. The one thing that I really, really like about this is that you can use it for more than just sending emails to people. So if you have, let's say you want to go into your, like a products module. So let's just say, your product. So let's say this is a product module, and we want to get a custom view of those, and we'll just, pretend that, recently modified deals. So one thing that you can do here is if you have, let's say you have a recurring task that you need people to do, like check on your stock once a week or, whatever it may be, you can, in addition to sending emails to people, you can add things like a task. So you can say, okay, when things enter a custom list, create a task for so-and-so to go do this. So if it's, something is updated and it's out of stock, right? Create a task for Jenny to take a look and work on that, right? And it can be, okay, maybe you get those out of stock notifications elsewhere, but maybe it's you need to do a monthly maintenance on a machine in your building, right? So, okay, something's on here, go ahead and do that. So it's almost a way to do recurring tasks, but also if there's specific criteria for those tasks, right? So if they're not time-based, if there's something, specific criteria hits on a record, and then you can go ahead and do that without having to do 1,000, workflows with follow-up tasks and everything. So that's kind of nice. So it's more than just sending those emails. There's a few other things that it can do that I can definitely see some good potential there for.
Very, very cool. Well, Landon, thank you so much for joining us today and
Pleasure.
giving us some of that enlightenment. That's going to do it for us here at Azaz today. Thanks again for watching. As always, if you found this video useful, please give us a like and subscribe here on YouTube. following us on your favorite choice of podcast app, and head over to Zenatta.com. We got all sorts of stuff, resources, newsletters. You can join our forum or check out our team training videos.
Bye, Mom.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you in the next one.